Okay, welcome everyone to another episode of the Marketing Interrogation Podcast. And today I'm really excited to have a very special guest on today's podcast. His name is Akbar Sheikh, and Akbar is a entrepreneur and he specializes in building high converting funnels. And one of his expertise is helping businesses scale to 7 figures. And quite astonishingly, he has done that 4 times already. So it's a great pleasure having Akbar on today's podcast. Hi there, Akbar. How are you doing?
Good, good. I just got something stuck in my eye at the worst time. My gosh, I don't know what just flew right in my eye. It's terrible. That's
This
funny.
wasn't this wasn't planned, right?
Yeah, it's funny actually. I had my child last year, and I'm looking at my wife's doing. Oh man, what do they call it? Where they put that thing on the stomach and you see the baby sonogram.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, sonogram. So I'm looking at the doctor. I'm like, man, this is pretty fascinating technology here. You just put this wand over here and you see the baby. And the guy said, that's nothing. And he pointed at the baby, said, that's where the real technology is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, you asked how I'm doing. I went on this whole thing, but I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing fine. A bit,
Yeah.
not enough sleep from last night, so a bit
Oh no,
tired.
what
But
happened?
no, I just couldn't get to sleep, man. So
Yeah.
anyway, if I fall asleep, it's nothing to do with you, right?
Remind me, I can give you some great sleep tips actually right now if you'd like them.
All right.
Or
Yeah.
you
Let's
like
start with some sleeping tips.
Okay, here's some sleeping tips. Hold on. I just had this today. Let me pull this up here. Okay, so apparently the tricks are sleeping masks. So somebody here reported to me, a friend of mine, reported to me, actually my right-hand man, he reported that he had a perfect sleep quality. He monitors his sleep quality. And
Matt, right?
not right. He said he had no snoring, perfect sleep quality, and he said the secret was taking magnesium, lavender and chamomile essential oil, sleeping mask, breath counting, and earplugs. Of course, we always recommend you speak to your doctor before you're doing anything. But anyway, apparently he gets a very high quality sleep with these methods.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So he sleeps what? 8 hours a night easily?
Yeah, well, he actually got a concussion. And as part of his concussion protocol, they said you need to get very good sleep. So he kind of did some research and now he's getting very high quality sleep and he's feeling much better. You repair when you sleep. So
Hmm.
he's getting nice, long 10 hours, I think, of high quality sleep to
Wow.
really give himself advanced repairing.
Excellent. I'll contact him.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Akbar. Today, I just want to, for those who don't know you, give it a bit of background, and that is Akbar was originally homeless before he started his entrepreneur career, which makes it even more astonishing. So, Akbar, for the first question I would like to ask you today is, when you were homeless, what made you change? Was there something which made you like sort of click and say, I want to be an entrepreneur, I can turn my life around? What was it? What was this like change that happened to you?
You know, that it's a great question. And I remember very clearly, actually. You see, I was so lost for such a long time, 10 years really. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a passion. I didn't have a why. But I was searching for it every single day and searching and searching and searching. Now, I don't want anybody to search that long because it was a difficult 10 years for me. So I'm very glad you asked that question. How did I actually, you're going to find opportunity. If you keep looking, you're going to find it. But the thing is, I failed. For 10 years, I failed at everything. Drop shipping, eBay, Amazon, all these types of things that everybody tries, right? When they first get online. Failed all these things. Like most people. I found something. Frankly, it's irrelevant even what the opportunity was, which is kind of why I purposely don't say it because it honestly doesn't matter. And I don't want anyone to get fixated on, oh, okay, he found drop shipping. That's the way I should go. It's not like that at all.
Right.
I got involved in an internet opportunity, right? Internet marketing. Well, not the first time that happened. I found plenty before, but I kept failing. Why did I succeed this time? That's the main question. I succeeded that time because I was ready for success. Meaning what? Meaning that for the 10 years of failure, I was off as a person. My mentality was wrong. My mindset was wrong. I was not a very spiritual person. I was not physically healthy. I was not in good relationships. I did not surround myself with the right people. Okay. Um, so nothing ever worked. Now you're going to talk about, a lot of people are confused, like, oh man, I just got to keep split testing until it works. Oh man, I got to keep, fixing the copy until it works. I disagree. I disagree. You're not ready for even that conversation yet. The first thing to do is to get yourself right, from the inside. Because once you have the right mentality or the right mindset, you see, I had to get to homeless. I left my life in Connecticut and I went to California and became homeless. Immediately, what happened? I was no longer surrounding myself with bad company. Bad company means like my friends were kind of like, party animals and not productive and stuff like that, right? So I left that company and I started hanging out with people like online, like watching like Tony Robbins and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm homeless. Who do you think I'm masterminding with? You know what I mean? Just the people on the internet, right? And I got healthy. I lost 50 pounds, which totally changes your life. It changes your confidence skyrockets, your confidence in your own abilities skyrockets, your stamina skyrockets. Being healthy physically and mentally and spiritually align you and customize you to actually perform. It's like, put it to this way, it's like a Ferrari that's all beat up. There's sand in the engine, the oil is very thick, the pedals are rusty. Yeah, you're not going to get very far. You're going to putt, putt, putt. But if you fine tune it and you do the oil change and you fine tune it, you get it healthy and you get it performing well, you can take off. And that's what happened to me. It's because we all have it in us. We all have it in us, but right now we're clogged. Our mind is clogged, is polluted with a bad mindset, with unhealthy habits. It's within all of us to succeed. But you have to cleanse yourself first, mentally, physically, emotionally, so that you could take any business and really succeed, whether your goal is to go 7 figures or beyond.
Okay, so it's the health and your mindset. You start with yourself first.
You have to start with yourself first, and you have to have passion. You have to be passionate about something. So, but a lot of the times a lot of people have a problem off the gate, right? They're just not passionate about something. Well, if you're not healthy, then you're not going to find your passion. You're not going to, you might just like overlook your passion, and you're not allowing yourself to be passionate, because a lot of the times, if you're not mentally prepared for success, your eyes are not going to even see that opportunity or that passion. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. So, I know a lot of people are very interested on how you help a business scale to 7 figures. But before we get to that, there's one thing I really want to ask you, and that's a common question is, when people start a business, in your experience, what do you think are the essential skills for an entrepreneur to have?
Before anyone starts a business, they need to practice. This is very interesting. This is not talked about enough. Before anyone even opens up a business, they need to be prepared for business. They need to be, in order to succeed in business, you need to be tenacious. Okay, you need to be tenacious, and you need to have discipline, which is something I never had in my whole life. You see, I lost 50 pounds, for example. If you asked me particularly, what was the one thing that you did to lose 50 pounds? I would tell you one simple thing: discipline. And it's something most people don't have. It takes real discipline to succeed, whether that's losing weight, scaling your business to 7 figures. It creates discipline to taking action daily. You have to do at least 3 things a day that take your business forward, minimum. That is where people, you see, it's unfortunate because a lot of people want the sexy. right? They want the fancy cars and the fancy house and the traveling first class and this and that, right? But to get to all that sexy, you need to first do the unsexy, right? And it's not the most, it's not the most wonderful thing to talk about. But, oh, we need discipline.
Right.
Oh, we need, something people want to do. But I'll tell you something. It's like getting a six pack. I mean, the benefits are awesome. Yeah, what I mean, not beer, but I mean like your stomach.
Yeah.
The benefits are awesome. They're phenomenal. Hey, sucks to get a six pack. You gotta do a lot. You gotta do a lot, work out a lot. You gotta eat perfectly. But you know what? It's well worth it. And I got to what's beautiful about discipline. It's 100% free. You know, and I'm a fun guy. I like to have fun. I like to socialize. I'm not like a super strict guy or anything. I don't sit like this or anything like that. I usually put my feet up. But I'll tell you something. It's a free skill to acquire, and once you have it, the quality of your life immediately goes up in every angle. It's honestly one of the best number one skill sets I think available that everyone should start honing in immediately.
You're talking about really persistence, right? Doing things which you don't want to do some days,
Yeah.
but continue doing it.
I never really do anything. The interesting thing about the human mind is you can reprogram it within 40 days. You see, I was kind of fortunate where I developed, talking about health, I had developed kind of a crippling anxiety disorder. So I was actually scared to eat fatty foods. I was actually, you see, what had happened was I was so far gone. Remember, it's interesting. Remember, we were talking at the beginning about how fascinating the human body is, that my eye secreted naturally and got rid of the foreign substance. My body did the same thing to me when I was so off, so unhealthy, fast food all the time, smoking a ton of cigarettes, so unhealthy. My body kept giving me little warnings and I wouldn't listen. Like if your stomach hurts, that means you ate something wrong. Maybe you don't do something. Your body tells you when something's wrong. Your nose is running. Hey, it's allergies. Maybe go, wash your nose or wear a mask or something. My body, I was so unhealthy on so many different levels that my body said the only way this guy's going to learn is if we, rewire his mind. Mm-hmm. And my body gave me a crippling anxiety disorder where it's like, dude, this guy's not going to get healthy on his own.
All right.
I was fearful of fatty food. Like I was literally scared of cheeseburgers. I was literally scared of cigarettes. I thought if I'm going to eat a cheeseburger or I'm going to smoke a cigarette, I'm going to die. Like it got that bad. And, I certainly don't want it to get, anyone to go to that kind of level. But it's to the point of really just having a deep understanding. And what ends up happening is it actually becomes very liberating. A lot of people go under peer pressure. They go to a birthday party, and it was like, eat the cake, come on, just a little slice. And you're like, oh no, I'm trying to watch it's okay, just have a bite. And everyone succumbs to peer pressure. But I'll tell you, I'll never forget when I was at this birthday party and I'm sitting proud, I'm smiling, I'm like, I don't care. And I'm sitting there smiling, I'm like, y'all can come here and give me your number one pitch. I don't care. I'm not having a bite. Not interested. You know what I mean? And it was so liberating for me. It was like complete freedom to choose. I just did a post on my Facebook. I was like, entrepreneurship means the ability, to say no whenever you want.
Right.
And everybody wants true freedom. All entrepreneurs want true freedom. And I got to say, it's very liberating to be disciplined. And my father-in-law is an interesting example. He takes it too far. He'll go to bed every day at a very particular time. So no matter what's happening, say 8 o'clock, he'll leave and go to his bed. Doesn't care what's going on. I mean, we had a dinner party and all the guests are there. He doesn't care, right? In the middle of the party, he gets up, doesn't even say goodbye to anybody and leaves. Yeah, that's too much. That's too far. But I'll tell you, I've seen discipline. That's a surefire way to see success.
Right. Now, okay, Akbar, let's go. I'm going to put you a bit on the spot here.
Okay.
Right. You are known, right? You for the past year, you've built quite a good brand for yourself. You're well known for helping businesses scale to 7 figures. I'm gonna ask you, right, honestly, right? Can you walk us through on how you actually do that? Because a lot of people are very skeptical, right? Because this is like it's a scam or whatever, right?
Right.
7 figures, that's impossible. So I want you to take us through what is your process? What do you actually
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
to help businesses?
Well, let's be clear here. First of all, not everyone qualifies. I have some phenomenal success. Yes, it's true. Lately, we've helped 4 7 figures. It's true, but there's kind of a few asterisks, and let me be very transparent and straightforward about that. Number one, I don't care how much anyone offers to pay me. I don't work with just anybody. Number one, we have to see, is their product or service ethical? Is the aim to make the world a better place? Number one. Number two, is the operator capable, in my own assessment, not that I judge, but are they capable of scaling something to 7 figures? Is the niche they're in something capable of scaling to 7 figures? You know, and I take a look at these things. If I feel the answer is yes to all these things, then we're closer to me saying yes. Number two is that, like, you want to talk about 7 figures, you need some sort of traction. It's not like you can go from, hey, I have this idea, I want to sell bottled water, colored bottled water, I want to sell colored blue bottled water, whatever it is, and let's go make 7 figures. It's not that easy. I take businesses that are generally like stuck, that are kind of have some traction, but are kind of stuck at an income, and I help them break through. You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, okay, cool. You want to sell honey? Okay, great. Come on down. We'll get you to 7 figures. It's not like that.
Right.
We have a niche. The thing is, like, I didn't really want to work with newbies, to be honest. And no disrespect to newbies. I mean, we all started as newbies, but I particularly knew my specialty. I wanted to take existing businesses, you know what I mean, that either A, have something existing, or B, they've come from some sort of success. They have some sort of success. Not like I have some people I work with some people who don't have a business, but they've had great success doing other things, But the thing is, if someone comes up to me and I feel bad, but it's like, hey, I have a regular, I'll give you a perfect true story. Hey, I've got an IT job. I don't want to do it anymore. I want to do, excuse me, I want to do an online business. I said, okay. What experience do you have? What do you specialize in? What have you gotten people results in? It's like, oh, no, nothing. I just have an IT job. I just want to do something online. I can't help you.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because what ends up happening, more towards your question, how do you scale to 7 figures, is that I've identified 7 things. It's funny, 7 things. 7 ethical principles of persuasion. Things such as scarcity, authority, likability, copy, reciprocity, these sorts of things, right? I take those elements, and generally people are doing a poor job in some of them, all of them. Sometimes they'll have no scarcity. Sometimes they'll have no good social proof. Sometimes they won't have any authority. Like, there was this one guy I was working with. He had this great experience. He was a doctor he was a doctor. He was been in the industry 18 years. He's gotten people 6-figure results. I found that out by some small print somewhere. I was like, dude, why aren't you highlighting this, showing that you're the expert? For example, like when you go to the doctor's office, it's a phenomenon. And by the way, all due respect to doctors or anybody who's affiliated with doctors, but I'm not a big fan. I'll give you a perfect example. I went to the doctor. I came to Connecticut, and the allergies are so bad I couldn't breathe, so I had to go to the doctor. And within 2 minutes, they just prescribed me steroids. I went home and I just started drinking a lot of water, and I already feel a lot better. I'm not even taking it. But anyway, don't get me started on doctors. But it's a phenomenon when you go to the doctor's office. When you go to the doctor's office, they ask you first of all, you wait for half an hour, which I just did. Then you go in there, no apologies, nothing. 2 minutes, ask you a couple of questions. Okay, here's your pills, go take them. And you say, okay, great, where do I pick them up? And they say, go down the road, pick them up. Okay, great. Don't ask any questions. They say jump, you say how high. A lot of these medications have dangerous side effects. A lot of these medicines, are not really what you need. But you don't care. You just run and you take them. And you run to the pharmacy. You pay, if you don't have insurance, you pay a very high price, and you pop those pills without blinking. Why? Now, if aliens came from outer space and looked at us and saw this, they'd be like, what is wrong with these people? Why do we do that? It's because the doctor has the white coat. The doctor's the authority. Well, they're using their powers for evil, a lot of them, but we can use our powers for good. We need to show that we're the authority, because people buy and trust from those they like and trust, and those who are authority figures. And a lot of people don't do a good job of that. They have what do you call it, imposter syndrome. They don't see their talent. They don't see their gift. And most people don't see their own gift. And I'll tell you something for people, and there's a lot of people listening right now who understand that. Good news is, I'll tell you something. High top performers feel the exact same thing sometimes. The key is to surround yourself with cool people who can remind you how awesome you really are.
Right.
So yeah, I think hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay,
Oh,
you help
thanks.
these businesses like scale, businesses which you are actually qualify first before you take them on as clients.
Yeah.
Okay, where did you learn your skills, Akbar? It's not something you can pick up. I mean, like anywhere, right, online.
I come from an entrepreneur family. I come from 9 generations of entrepreneurs, from pretty all over the world, actually. My family is very, very, very large. There's probably only a handful of people who ever had a job over the past 9 generations. Um, I've inherited some of it from like a DNA point of view, and I grew up watching my dad in business. I mean, most kids were, I don't know what the hell they're doing on the weekend. I don't know, watching Saturday morning cartoons. I was at the cash register, at this store. So it was kind of, it was like woven in my DNA, and from really my earliest memories, just being at my dad's business, his stores. He had retail stores, so I picked up a lot there. Um, I always did well in these subjects in school, marketing and business and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I picked it up from my family. I picked it up from school. Then I just had some tremendous mentors, old school and new school, and I learned a lot from them. So it's a combination of all these things, really.
Right. Can you tell us one or two huge mistakes that you've made on your journey from being an entrepreneur? Mistakes that we should definitely avoid at all
Yeah.
cost.
Starting what point in my life?
Your journey from to being an entrepreneur.
Well, by the way, I don't believe, and I will answer your question. But by the way, part of my seven-figure mindset is I don't believe in regret. I actually believe every single thing happens for a reason, and everything happens because it was supposed to happen. Therefore, I keep a clean mind, regret-free, which it helps me to scale because it helps me keep focused. But I'll answer your question because I think it's important to give people some practical advice. Definitely want to hang out with good people. You are absolutely the average of the people you hang out with. Perfect example is this. I'm at home. My brother likes to party. When I say party, he likes to have a good time. He likes to watch a movie. He likes to stay up late at night, watch movies, sit by the fireplace. He likes to have a good time. He's a night owl anyway. So
Hmm.
I'm hanging out with this guy. I haven't been very productive these past couple of days. Because we're sleeping late, and he's not a productive guy. He actually he's not a very productive guy, but I've been around him, so I haven't been very productive. You are you are the average of the people you hang out with, which is why I join masterminds, which is why I join, top level kind of inner circles and stuff like that. So I could surround myself, which is why I actually have my own coaching program that I surround myself with, which people that I really like that I think are successful, productive people that I always want to surround myself with solid people because you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So go get the best 5 people around, you know. And I did that even when I was homeless. I would just
Right.
watch YouTube videos of the people I liked and respected. I'd watch their content or whatever. So that would be definitely one of the biggest things that for too long, like 10 years, I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. So I definitely would do that, starting right away.
Because another question I was going to ask you was, what were the two best decisions you made for being an entrepreneur? So I guess one of them is hanging around with the right people.
Right. Best decision I ever made was twofold. Number one is that I didn't give up because I think the majority of people who fail they just gave up too early.
Right.
And really the best decision was really deciding that, guess what? Giving myself the permission that, yeah, I can do this. Giving myself the permission, looking at all the top earners out there and all the top marketing guys and looking at them and be like, you know what? There's no reason I can't be like them. They're no different than me. And especially when I went to the conferences and stuff, and I really saw them, and I was just like, dude, they're no different than me. They are no different than me. And it's true now that I've gone from kind of there to kind of hanging out with some of these guys. They're just regular people who just haven't given up, who just work really hard and who just do things every day to grow their business, who don't come up with excuses. They just go, 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 and they're very passionate. So that was one of the top things, just giving myself the permission to accept the fact that, yeah, I can do anything I want to do. I mean, I I really believe that not in an arrogant kind of way, but I really believe that I can do anything I want to do. For example, like, you ever go to a modern art museum and you're like, oh man, this is silly. Even I could draw something and it'll be it. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
kind of a silly mentality, but I truly believe that if I wanted to, I can get an art piece in a museum. That's a crazy thing, but I mean, like, I really like what I've seen, Alan. Like, after breaking through, honestly, anything is possible. You could do anything you want. You can achieve any sort of success you want. All these top guys. I mean, when I was homeless, like, I can't even say hi to any of these guys, and now it's like, we all hang out, and it's just like, dude, you could do anything you wanted to. You
Right.
know, just just work towards it and don't give up.
Okay. Okay, Akbar, something I noticed about you, and that is your mindset, your positivity, and your belief in yourself is really, really strong.
Yeah,
It's just stronger than the average person who like who I've coached or who I've met. It's really
yeah.
impressive. So, do you do any of these sort of positive or meditation or any of these things in your day? Is that in your
I
routine?
You see, I pray every day. I pray every day. I used to do positive affirmations, which I highly recommend. They're great. I pray every day. I'm very passion driven, like, I'm very passion driven. I always say find a why that makes you cry, and I really want to make a very big positive impact in the world. One of the things I'm most passionate about right now is giving the gift of vision to blind children. You know, um, Actually, all it is paying for their simple cataract surgery, and it's actually really affordable. Actually, for less than $100, you can give the gift of vision to a blind kid. And like, when I first heard that, I was just
Yeah.
like I'm just like, take my debit card. You know what I mean? It's like everything gets into perspective. You know what I mean? It's like, huh. So I mean, look, I'll be honest with you, and it's interesting you mentioned this because, like, to get like your dream lifestyle, man, it'll only cost you, like, depending on who you are, like $10,000 to $20,000 a month. Everybody's always like, "Oh, I want to make $1 million." To be honest with you, like, your dream lifestyle, generally speaking, is going to cost you around about $20,000 for like your dream lifestyle. But for me at this point, that's just like kind of covering my expenses, sort of. It's not has nothing to do with my lifestyle. Why I've set it up that way, and I'm a simple guy. I was happy when I was homeless, but we want to really make a positive impact in the world. And there's a lot of people that need help, a lot of people dying of starvation, a lot of orphans that need help, a lot of blind children that would like to get their vision back. So if God's given all of us talent, if God's given us a talent to help people scale and help people generate a lot of revenue, in return we can do well, then, you know, I don't know. I really just generally want to make the world a better place.
Right. Okay. And can you describe what your typical day is like in the life of Akbar? I
Yeah,
know it
man.
varies, but like your
I know.
average day, what's it like?
Well, it's an interesting question. A few months ago, a couple of months ago, my answer would have been completely different. I honestly just kind of like work around the clock, um, because I love it and I'm really passionate about it and we're growing a lot. But that's definitely changing. My wife is not into it. She's like, you can keep doing that, no problem. We're just not going to be around. Okay. So I've had to change it. I've had to kind of limit my schedule to now, you get up, you pray. Unfortunately, I have this bad habit of checking my phone. And I say that because I know a lot of people do it. So I just want you to know, like, just because we're further down the entrepreneur road, maybe, uh, doesn't mean we're any different. We still check our phones when we wake up and stuff, and there's plenty of people way ahead of us too, by the way. But, I'll wake up, we'll pray, um, spend some time with the family and the kids. And I have an assistant, Matt. He schedules out my day for me. Um, you know, we are trying to transition now to working less in the business and more on the business. So, like, for example, like, I love doing podcasts like this, but I was doing a lot of them. So now I've limited it to once a week. We were doing like several a week, and they're just taking up too much time, even though it's a great thing to do. But so now I'm just trying to clear out appointments and talk to less people and just focus on the business. And you always have to do that. And I'm always constantly every day looking at my goals, reevaluating my goals. Where are we going? Where are we going? Are we accomplishing anything? Every day I'm really hard on myself too. And I beat myself up. I'm like, no, we're not accomplishing enough. We're not doing enough. We need to do more. Let's keep going. And I push my team. And I'm constantly looking at our goals and saying, come on, let's get closer. How do we get closer? What do we do? But you got to really be in the zone for that. You got to be clear. You got to be in the zone. You got to get a nice work environment. You got to be like on point. You got to be ready to go. Because when you're in that zone and you have the right team and you have the right passion, the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If we're not growing regularly, we're doing something wrong. We're switching things up. Like we expect growth all the time. We expect our brand to grow. We expect our company to grow. If it's not growing, we're doing something wrong. So we got to reevaluate, readjust, work harder, work smarter. That's something that a lot of people don't get is that you should be growing all the time. It's not like, oh, we'll see growth next year or in several months. No, growth happens all the time. You should be seeing growth every week, in one capacity or another. So I think a lot of the crux of our days are kind of that narrative.
How many hours would you say on average do you work on your business?
I worked before, like I said, several months ago. I don't even know. I mean, 16 hours a day, maybe something like that. Just a lot. I don't know. Now, I mean, on the schedule, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, well, now it's a little like, okay, it's kind of hard for me to, I can't give you an accurate answer. I'll tell you why. Because I went from the 16 hours. Then I had to talk with my wife recently. She's like, this can't happen anymore. So then I transitioned. But my wife's in Australia right now. So I'm here alone so I can work however many hours I want. But when she's back, I'm going to try to stick to it's funny actually because work life is 9 to 5. But I'm going to probably try to end my day. I don't know what time I'm going to start it, but I'm going to end my day at 5 latest. And I might do some work after they sleep. I'm pretty addicted to what I do. To be honest with you, I have a pretty addictive personality. For the first time in my life, I love what I do. So it's always on my mind, and I love doing it. So my wife will catch me in the bathroom, just in the closet, texting away, hiding from her. After hours, I'm not supposed to be working. And she'll catch me kind of under the bed covers and stuff, texting away or something. But I'm not the right person to look at it for this. I don't want people to be working all the time, but my situation is like I said, first time in 10 years, I love something. So right now, I really just feel like working all the time. I really do. It's not healthy. It's not the best thing to do, but I'm just going through that kind of weird transition right now,
Right. What type of person would you describe yourself as? You're emotional, or you really fastidious? Do you demand a lot from your team members? I'm just very interested to know what type of person, or do you think you are?
I ask a lot from my team, but I'm also I think I'm very nice to them. And I think they'll tell you that too if you talk to them privately. I think I'm very fair. I never say no to them if they want to do something they want a day off or they, whatever they want to raise or whatever really they want. I rarely say no to any of them for anything, actually. I think I'm very accommodating. I do push them hard. I do, but I'm in a nice way. I'm not a mean person, but I like to consider myself a nice person and a grateful person and someone who wants to help my family and help the world be a better place.
Right. Would you say you're a very emotional type of person? I know you're very positive.
I am emotional. I am sensitive. I am. I'm sensitive. If somebody, I'm very sensitive. I can't. One thing I can't handle is a dissatisfied customer. I know people who laugh at that stuff. Haha, this guy's unhappy. I know business owners like that. They laugh at it. They're emotionally void. But an unhappy client to me is just the worst thing to me. I can't. It's very difficult for me to I go above and beyond to make sure that my people are happy. So I'm definitely an emotional person. There's no doubt about it. I'm not. There's some people who are very. They've taken the emotions out. They're very data-based. They're very data-based. My business is one of passion and emotion, very truthfully speaking. And I've attracted kind of like-minded people like that. So it's not this set up machine, this data-based, algorithm-based machine. It's not. My business is one of passion.
Okay, Akbar, last question. And that is, I know Matt is your right-hand man.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you hire him? And what qualities did you look for for your right hand man?
It's funny. I think God just gave, I had mercy on me because I'm honestly, it's funny. My dad, and I'll whisper because my dad's downstairs, but my dad has actually never really been good at hiring people, and I've never been good at hiring people. Before Matt, I had like 3 assistants that just didn't work out. I think God just kind of had mercy. I got a little bit lucky, but I can tell you what to look for when you're hiring someone is give them the DISC profile test. See that they match with you. See that, make sure their personality aligns with yours, and you can do that with the DISC test. You can just Google that. But you have to see, like, for example, like, Matt and I kind of clash because he's very organized. I'm completely disorganized, which is actually why I hired him in the first place, to help me get organized. But the reason it works is because we align in our beliefs. You know what I mean? And there's a good relationship there where it's a kind of mentor and mentee. So you have to, when you're hiring someone, it's really a marriage. You really a big guy with a $250 million real estate portfolio told me something interesting. He's like, I'm not gonna get you. I'm not gonna do business with you unless I'm happy to marry you. Right. Now that doesn't, even if it's a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just a metaphor. It's just that, like, listen, I'm not gonna hire you unless, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable getting you married to my brother or sister, or whatever it is, right? And I like that. I like that a lot because, like, you might have a salesman. He's like, he was a shark. Like, no, this guy's a shark, man. I wouldn't get him involved with my family. So that's something I don't think a lot of people look at. You know what I mean? Obviously skill sets there, but I mean, there's a lot of training involved, and you want to hire people who fill in your void, because I always say, do what you do best and outsource the rest, and all of us have voids. Like, I'm not organized at all. And Matt scored on an organizational test. He had top marks, top 1 percentile marks. So it fills in a good void. You have to make sure it's a good partnership and you're aligned and you're paying them what they want to pay. And you have to make sure that they're happy. That's the thing. You got to say that they're happy and that you're giving and they're loyal. And I've had a pretty good experience with him so far. It's been a while. I'm very happy. So I've learned a couple of these things along the way.
Right. Well, thanks, Akbar. Well, okay, for the listeners on this podcast, can you tell them if they want to know more about you and find out more about your services or get coaching from you, where should they go?
Well, listen, I have a book. I happen to like it. It's a best-selling book, and you can it's $47 on Amazon. Okay, I'd love to give it to your audience for free. You just go to my website, which is my name, akbarsheikhh.com/bestseller.
Right.
I should probably get an easier website for people to remember, right? I should probably get thebestseller.com or something. I think I'll work on that. See, and that's another thing, by the way. So, I just came up with a good idea, which I think is good, because I do a lot of podcasts, right? And I don't think anybody's going to remember that. So it's probably silly. So now what I'm going to do here, you're going to get a little live demo here. So I'm just simply go on my phone. I go on the to-do list, and I simply say, buy a simple podcast, giveaway URL. And I make that note because people on podcasts, sometimes they're in the car listening, now that I think about it, they're not going to remember akbarsheikhh.com/bestseller. They're just not. So, so there you go. That's the to-do list. It's on there and it's going to happen. And could I give it away to my assistant, Matt? I could, but honestly, I don't mind doing that myself. So there you just saw a little live demonstration. Yeah.
Don't worry, Akbar. I'll put the link in the description of this podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Well, excellent, Akbar. Thank you for being on the show. It's been a pleasure. You got some really, really good ideas and tips.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm very happy. Thank you so much for inviting me, man. I really appreciate it.